Welcome to the First Raitt Law podcast. I am Bobby Raitt, your host. My co-host is Tom James. We are here today to talk a little bit about what you're going to get with Raitt Law. But first, I want to mention the reason we're doing these podcasts is so that you, the viewer, know what you should do and who you should go to get the best information to help you proceed with a potential claim for injuries you may have suffered in some type of accident or trauma. Today, what we're going to do at this podcast is we're going to talk about how things are at Raitt Law from the time you sign up with our firm, Raitt Law, to the time we resolve the claim and get you compensation or money at the end of the case. Tom is going to explain from his perspective because he's really the one at the firm that is in the trenches doing the day-to-day work that's going to make a big difference for you as a client at Raitt Law. Tom, can you give the viewer a little bit of a perspective on what we do here?
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Bobby. So the way that we do things, right, it is a process that we have developed over the years, right? This isn't something that you just kind of like throw together after a couple of years. Bobby's been practicing 35 years. I've been practicing 21 years. So through this time, we've learned, right, that one of the most important things that we can do in our process is actually meet our clients. And I think you'll be surprised, right? If you talk to other people who've had cases with other firms, they never even get to meet their attorneys, or sometimes just a phone call, maybe a Zoom meeting, something along those lines. But when you hire us, you will meet us. We're going to meet you face to face. Sometimes people like to come to our office, check out the office, make sure it's a real law firm, right? I know that's funny, but check out the office, make sure it's real. But other times we will come out to you. And what we want to do is we want to have a sit down. We want to learn about you. Who are you? What was lost? What happened? We'll go through the whole process. And in that process, we're going to educate you on the law because that's important, right? It's not just everyone who gets injured can get recovery. We're going to explain the law, break it all down. We're going to go through your case. We're going to go through your treatment. We're going to explain how everything affects you and your case going forward. That's all in the beginning, right? And that beginning can be a couple months. It could be 3 months. It could be 6 months. And then depending upon the level of injury that you have and how much injury and how much more treatment that you're going to need going forward, at some point, we will break the case down into what we call a demand. But it's summarizing your medical records. It's summarizing what you've lost. It's summarizing the effect on your life and your family's life because of your injuries. We put that all into a very nice package and we will send it off to the negligent party, right? The person who's at fault for causing your injuries. We're going to send it to their insurance company and we're going to start the negotiation process. I can tell you, because of our reputation and because of the way that we bundle these packages, again, this is 50 years of experience. We've been very successful in resolving cases for good compensation to our clients, even without the need of a lawsuit. And I think that surprises a lot of people because actually you're going to learn about myths. We have another episode about myths. And one of the myths is that every case requires a lawsuit. It doesn't. It does not. Not when you know what we know. Right. And we can help and shortcut through that process. But anyway, we're going to go through that demand process. We're going to look, again, gather more information from you with regards to how it's affecting your life, the treatment. Now, it doesn't always work, right? The demands don't always work. And sometimes we have to file a lawsuit. Again, we'll take you through that entire process. What does it mean to go through discovery? What does it mean to go through case evaluation, settlement conferences, all of these things? What does it mean when the other side's insurance company is demanding, or your auto insurance company is demanding that you see one of their insurance medical doctors, right? They call them IMEs. That's an acronym for Insurance Medical Examiner. And we prepare you for that process. We have phone calls. I'll send you emails. We'll give you a full outline, what to expect, all of these things. And you normally don't get that from other firms, right? You might get an email. You might get a flyer or something like that, but not with us. Everything that you do with us is one-to-one. And we really pride ourselves on that. And so typically, right, most cases resolve in settlement. And I know, people put up stats on the web, on the internet, 95% of cases settled, 99% case to settle, whatever it might be, or whatever they think the stats are, we've been very successful. Again, due to our reputation, due to the way that we package up your cases and delineate your injuries, outline everything, our success rate is much higher than the average because of everything that we do on the back end, because of how we help educate you, and then also because of how the other side views us. So we're excited. We're excited to share that with you. We're excited to have you as a client and make a difference for you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Tom.
Bob.
It was interesting because I think that was the first time you ever said that you've been practicing for going on 21 years. I've been going on 34, 35 years without telling the person that was hearing it that we're the same age, because we are the same age. We're both in our late 50s. Tom did some other things before he went into the law. But what that brings you as our client is a combined 50 plus years of experience, much, if not all of, being done in the personal injury space. A lot of it's auto, truck, and motorcycle, but we have a big practice of slip and falls, dog bites, construction accidents, all of those things. And what Tom said is true. You're not going to get what you get with Raitt Law at many other law firms because you have the experience, you have the proven track record, and you have two individuals that take the time with each individual client to really make them understand what they are doing, make them understand what's going on with their case. You have our cell phones. I mean, what law firm gives you their attorney's cell phones, right? And you're not just a number at Raitt Law. We don't have 500,000 cases. We have 100 to 150 cases. We can work on all of those cases equally. We don't take every case. We will talk to anybody. We will explain to anybody what they want to know, answer their questions. But if we don't think we can help them, and we don't think we can put in the time and the energy necessary to help them, we'll steer them to another attorney, or we'll explain to them why we don't think they have a potential claim or case, right? So with Raitt Law, once you're our client, you are going to get excellent treatment. You are never going to want for what's going on with your case. You're going to be able to communicate with both of us. And Tom didn't get into a lot of depth with just how good he is at that lead up to the eventual demand he talked about, or if we have to file suit. But he spends an unbelievable amount of time on every issue with every client. So much so that when he started with Raitt Law this past January, I saved a lot of his emails in a folder because I could not believe the amount of time he was spending on something as small as, there's something called household services, for example. When you're in an auto accident, you have the right to get from your insurance company a whopping $20 a day for having to pay someone else do what you could have done, like mowing the lawn, for example, but for your injuries. Tom sends a 3-page memo in the form of an email to our new client every time, titled Household Services. Everything you want to know. You're not going to get that anywhere else, not in this state anyway. In my 34 years, I've never seen anything like it. So you're in great hands with us. We really handle it right from the beginning to resolving it. And by the way, this whole thing about lawsuit versus demand, we learned, and it's a method that we learned over our many years. Why wouldn't we want to get the biggest bang for the buck as soon as we can? So if we are making a demand with a demand package to an insurance company, if they know, oh, Raitt Law, that's Bobby Raitt and Tom James, with those verdicts, with those big settlements, very involved in the legal community, they're going to handle this right if we don't settle, and they are going to kick our butts in trial, in court. We're able to settle about 75% of our cases without the need for a lawsuit, and that means more money to you quicker. Tom, why don't you just tell them how they can reach us if they want to reach us, and we'll be done today.
Yep, awesome. Hey, and I should have made a bigger point over on the issue of the cell phones. The firm that I came from and Bobby came from years back, it is such a large law firm that you get everyone's email address, but you're lucky to get an email back in the same day, or even a call the same day if you call in. But as a client here at Raitt Law, you have our cell phone numbers, right? You have Bobby's cell phone number. You have my cell phone number. If you need something at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night, you can just call us, send us a text message, and you're not going to get that personal level of attention at any other firm that I've heard of. not in Michigan, at least. So yeah, I'm very proud of the way that we do things, and we certainly make a difference. Getting in touch with us is very easy, right? Come to our website, firstraittlaw.com, and that's RAITT for the rate. In addition, we have an 866 number, a toll-free number. Give us a call there too, 866 Raitt Law. Call us anytime, right? Call us 9 to 5. You can call us even after 9 to 5, 6 to 10, whenever you want. We will always be available for you. And then certainly come back and join us, right? Come back and join us, because our next episode is going to be a fun one. And what we're going to be doing in our next episode is dispelling some of those myths that are out there. So thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next time.